Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Gaudiani. I'm joining you today for my final reading from my book, Sick Enough. I have so enjoyed joining you in your homes, in your lives, doing these readings. It's been a real joy for me. So today we'll finish up with the conclusion. This is on page 248. How should I approach a friend who seems to have a problem? I often get asked how to address a friend or colleague or parent in the carpool line or fellow gym member who seems to have developed an eating disorder. Usually this refers to someone who has lost a lot of weight or looks dangerously thin. On the whole, we have to remember that assumptions can be misleading. While someone working out for hours likely doesn't have a medical condition causing their visible malnutrition, another person might have cancer or another chronic disease. That said, many patients have stayed in their eating disorder longer because no one mentioned anything, contributing to the misconception that they must be fine. It's best to reserve these conversations for someone you know well, not a stranger. Rather than start by jumping to conclusions, you might pick a safe, private moment and share your observations. I've noticed that you seem to have lost a lot of weight lately, and that I never see you eat socially anymore. I hear you talking a lot about food, bodies, healthy eating, and how often you're working out. I'd like to share with you that these observations make me worry you've developed an eating disorder. If the person seems open to this discussion, you can warmly assure them of your support and ask if they'd like help finding experts who can help, like a therapist, dietitian, and doctor. If they shut down and assure you that they're fine, you can at least encourage them to make a doctor's appointment, because in your experience, people who are truly fine don't discount a friend's concerns and persist in certain behaviors. Remember, your role isn't to fix your friend, it's to share your observations and encourage them to seek expert help. Creating a safe refuge for all bodies. In the final analysis, we can't shelter our kids completely from a world that is hostile to body diversity and bombards them with pseudoscientific messages about nutrition. I do recommend delaying access to social media as long as possible, given the portrayal of superficial, falsely perfected lives and the comparison culture fostered on these platforms. What we can do, trying to get out of the sun here a little bit, what we can do with our kids, our friends, and our loved ones is to make a positive contribution by making sure that our homes are a safe refuge for all bodies. Within our walls, those who enter can find sanctuary from the outside world. We can carry this power to make a positive contribution outside the walls of our home too. At work, with friends, anywhere we go, we can resist contributing to a culture of body dissatisfaction and narrowly defined standards of beauty or health. Those who need to process distress and seek support around themes of nutrition and body image, even without an eating disorder, ideally should seek a good therapist rather than engage in self-deprecating language in daily life. It's also important to use a critical lens when viewing how diverse bodies are portrayed and treated in society. In doing so, we can then help our children cultivate their own critical thinking habits. Professionally speaking, eating disorder clinicians in all specialties have a responsibility to provide considerate and scientifically sound care to people of all shapes and sizes. Be gentle and compassionate with yourself. Model the caring, vulnerable, thoughtful coping strategies you hope the next generation will someday use when they have to deal with disappointment, failure, or fatigue. And take with you the recognition that if you have an eating disorder or disordered eating, in this very moment, you are sick enough to seek help and work toward recovery. Take care.